Hi everyone, welcome to the Open Classroom, your favorite place for life lessons. Today we are going to revisit one of our favorite stories from childhood, the story of the hare and the tortoise. While we all know the story and the lesson it has taught us, today we are going to see the extended version of the same story and understand and learn from it completely. Let's get started. Once upon a time, a tortoise and hare had an argument about who was faster. They decided to settle the argument with a race. The tortoise and the hare both agreed on a route and started off the race. The hare shot ahead and ran briskly for some time. Then, seeing that he was far ahead of the tortoise, he thought he'd sit under a tree for some time and relax before continuing the race. He sat under the tree and soon fell asleep. The tortoise, plodding on, overtook him and soon finished the race, emerging as the undisputed champ. The hare woke up and realized that he had lost the race. The moral of the story is that slow and steady always wins the race. This is the version of the story that we've all grown up with. The story continues. The hare was disappointed at losing the race and he did some soul searching. He realized that he'd lost the race only because he had been overconfident, careless, and relaxed. If he had not taken things for granted, there was no way the tortoise could have beaten him. So he challenged the tortoise to another race. The tortoise agreed. This time, the hare went all out and ran without stopping from start to finish. He won the race by several miles. The moral of this story is that in business or in life, fast and consistent will always beat the slow and steady. If you don't act with a sense of urgency, you will surely get left behind. But the story doesn't end here. The tortoise did some thinking this time and realized that there is no way he can beat the hare in a race the way it was currently formatted. He thought for a while and then challenged the hare to another race, but on a slightly different route. The hare agreed. The tortoise and the hare started off. In keeping with his self-made commitment to be consistently fast, the hare took off and ran at top speeds until he came to a broad river. The finishing line was a couple of kilometers on the other side of the river. The hare sat there wondering what to do. In the meanwhile, the tortoise trundled along, got into the river, swam to the opposite bank, continued walking, and finished the race. The moral of this part of the story is that you can be extremely talented, you can be fast, and you can be consistent. Despite that, there are areas in your life where you cannot win because that is not your strength. The tortoise and the hare by this time had become good friends and they did some thinking together. Both realized that the last race could have been run much better. So the tortoise and hare decided to do the last race again, but to run as a team this time. They started off, and at this time, the hare carried the tortoise till the river bank. There the tortoise took over and swam across with the hare on his back. On the opposite bank, the hare again carried the tortoise and they reached the finishing line together. Both the tortoise and the hare felt a greater sense of satisfaction than they had ever felt before. The moral of this side of the story: teamwork or being together always works. It's good to be individually brilliant, but unless you're able to work with team or people and harness each other's core strengths, you'll always perform below par because there will always be situations at which you'll do poorly and someone else will do well. We're born alone and we die alone. The journey that we take gets the best meaning when we do it together. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed today's story and you learned a good life lesson from it. If you did, please share the message and show some love. I will meet you in the next session. Cheers.